Richard Rick Davies, born on July 22, 1944, and passing away on September 6, 2025, will always be remembered as an extraordinary English musician, singer, and songwriter whose art lives on long after his time. He was the creative engine of the iconic rock band Supertramp, serving as founder, lead vocalist, and keyboardist. Though band members came and went across the years, Rick remained the steady flame at its center, keeping the band's heart alive. His deep, raspy, unforgettable voice and skilled hands at the keyboard helped shape some of the most enduring songs of his era, works that continue to inspire countless listeners today. Among his many celebrated creations were Rudy, Bloody Well Right, Crime of the Century, Ain't Nobody But Me, From Now On, Gone Hollywood, Goodbye Stranger, Just Another Nervous Wreck, My Kind of Lady, Cannonball, and I'm Begging You. His sound fused the energy of blues and the sophistication of jazz-inflected progressive rock, coupled with lyrics that often carried a sharp edge of social commentary. Beneath this grit, however, was an artist who gave his full heart to every song. Rick was born in Swindon, Wiltshire, to his parents Betty and Dick Davies. His mother ran her own hairdressing salon, while his father worked in the Merchant Navy until his passing in 1973. From early childhood, it was clear that music was central to Rick's life. His mother later remarked that music was the only subject he truly excelled at in school. A pivotal moment came when, at the age of 8, his parents gave him a second-hand radiogram. Inside, it was a copy of Gene Krupa's Drummin' Man, a record that struck Rick like lightning. He played it endlessly, absorbing every rhythm until it became part of him. Soon afterward, a family friend built him a makeshift drum kit from a biscuit tin. By age 12, Rick's passion and determination had carried him into the British Railways Staff Association Brass and Silver Jubilee Band as a snare drummer. Parades filled with booming percussion thrilled him, and he knew instinctively that music would define his path. Though he first dedicated himself to drums, Rick's journey eventually shifted toward keyboards. Without formal instruction, he taught himself by ear and instinct. His mother recalled how determined he was, stressing that nearly all of his skills came from self-teaching. That perseverance and innate drive would later form a foundation of his remarkable artistry. By the late 1950s, rock and roll captured his imagination, and in 1959, he joined a group called Vince and the Vigilantes. A few years later, while studying art at Swindon College, he formed Rick's Blues, switching to the Hohner electric piano instead of drums. Among the band's members was a young Gilbert O'Sullivan, who played drums for a while and later credited Rick with teaching him the essentials of music. Life, however, dealt him hardships. When his father's health declined, Rick disbanded his band, left college, and took a welding job to support himself. The dream of becoming a professional musician seemed temporarily derailed. Yet fate intervened in 1966 when he joined the Lonely Ones, later renamed The Joint, as their organist. Though he had exaggerated his experience to land the position, his natural talent quickly rose to meet the challenge. During this period in Munich, Rick met Dutch millionaire Stanley August Mayasigis, who offered to fund him if he formed a new band. That act of generosity altered the course of his life forever. In 1969, Rick placed an ad in Melody Maker magazine, which led to his fateful meeting with Roger Hodgson. Though they came from very different backgrounds, Rick from a working-class upbringing and Roger from a privileged one, their musical chemistry was undeniable. They began writing together, shaping songs that would eventually define an era. Their group was initially called Daddy, before becoming Supertramp in 1970. Signed by A&M Records, they released their self-titled debut album, with Hodgson carrying most of the lead vocals. By their second record, Rick's commanding baritone emerged alongside Roger's soaring tenor, creating the dynamic contrast that became the band's hallmark. Supertramp's big break came in 1974 with Crime of the Century, which climbed to number 4 on the UK charts and showcased their brilliance to the world. Rick's Bloody Well Right and other songs struck chords across continents. By the late 1970s, the band relocated to the United States, where they produced their most iconic album, Breakfast in America, 1979. With chart-topping tracks like The Logical Song and Goodbye Stranger, it propelled them to global stardom and filled arenas worldwide. These were years of intense creativity and fulfillment for Rick, as his artistic vision came fully alive. The early 1980s brought change. When Roger Hodgson departed in 1983, Rick assumed the central role in Supertramp, carrying its weight largely on his own. His versatile voice, capable of both gravelly depth and surprising tenderness, defined the band's new sound. With Brother Where You Bound, 1985, Rick steered Supertramp into more progressive territory, proving that the band could still thrive without Hodgson. Songs like Cannonball underscored his ability to keep their flame burning. Though Supertramp eventually disbanded, Rick's devotion to music endured. In 1997, he revived the band, producing new albums and delighting fans with tours. In 2010, they marked their 70-10 tour, celebrating 40 years of music. Sadly, in 2015, Rick was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, forcing him to cancel future tours and step away from the spotlight. Despite his illness, he never abandoned music. In 2018, he gave a touching interview in which he explained how he had battled his condition and found joy again in playing. He performed with a smaller group, Ricky and the Rockets, rediscovering the exhilaration of live performance. He admitted that Supertramp might never reunite, but he remained content to share music in any form. In 2022, Ricky and the Rockets played once more, a cherished gift for loyal fans. His persistence, even against illness, proved his resilience and love for his craft. Beyond music, Rick's personal life reflected loyalty and devotion. He married Sue, Supertramp's manager since 1984 in 1977. Their partnership endured fame, illness, and every challenge in between, with Sue remaining a pillar of strength beside him. Though Rick made his home in Long Island, New York, he never forgot his English heritage, returning every Christmas to visit his mother until her passing in 2008. He even personally arranged her memorial in 2009, a testament to his deep sense of family. Rick also safeguarded his legacy. Through Rick Davies Productions, he ensured Supertramp's recordings remained protected, preserving them for future generations. Over decades of albums, tours, and royalties, he accumulated an estimated net worth of $10 million, though the true measure of his wealth lay in the passion and creativity he poured into music. On September 6, 2025, after a long and valiant battle with cancer, Rick Davies passed away. His departure left a silence in the music world, yet his spirit lives on in the chords, lyrics, and melodies he left behind. He was not merely a musician but a dreamer and storyteller whose work carried the essence of his soul. Though he is gone, his music continues to resonate, ensuring that his legacy endures for generations. Richard Davies remains a legend whose songs have become a soundtrack to countless lives, and his story is one of perseverance, artistry, and love for music. Rest in power, Rick Davies, for your melodies remain eternal.